evening. I would like to take a moment to share the disclaimer slide, so please take a peek at that, and of course, let me know if you have any questions. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Melissa, and today I'll be guiding you through yoga. We will practice together for 45 minutes. So just a reminder to listen to your body through the practice. So if any stretches are not working for you, you can always skip them, come out and modify. And props that you're going to need for your practice today is you're going to want to have your yoga mat. It's also really nice to have a block and a blanket close by. If you have those, that's great. If it's easy to grab them, that's awesome as well. But if you don't have them, that's okay. And we will get started today in seated. So let's come on down to that nice, comfortable seated position. And you may want to sit on your block. So sometimes if you are sitting up on a block, it can help you take a little pressure off of your knees. And it also helps to roll your pelvis forward a little bit, which can just help to keep the spine a little straighter. And the yoga block is wonderful, but even if you have your blanket and you kind of roll it up and just kind of sit right on the edge of it, it can also kind of roll the pelvis forward a little bit and help to elongate the spine. So let's start with a little release on our shoulders. We'll begin to take our shoulders up to the ears, create a nice large circle, and then relax your shoulders as you exhale. Take a full breath in. Let's bring those shoulders up, back, and down. And then one more time with the breath. Inhale and exhale. So as you relax your shoulders from your ears, let's give ourselves a moment to close the eyes, to drop into the breath and the body. Gently noticing your connection to the ground. So we'll just notice the edges of the legs, the edges of the feet, and grounding through the sitting bones. Begin to lengthen your spine. So we'll try to lengthen the back of the neck. Reach and stretch through the crown of the head. And begin to drop in and connect to the rise and the fall of your breath. Lengthening as you inhale and lengthening as you exhale. And then just taking a moment to watch the breath. We'll breathe into the stomach. Feel your navel rise on the in-breath and fall on the out-breath. Feel your ribs expand on the in-breath and contract on the out-breath. Feel your chest rise on the inhale and fall on the exhale. And then through the practice today, just carrying that connection to the breath. So just letting the breath be a focal point. If you would like, set an intention for your time on the mat today. Intention could be anything. Maybe this is a time for you to relax, time for yourself out of the whole entire day. Maybe it's to push yourself a little bit. So there's really no right or wrong. It's just your own personal little goal and desire for the class. Let's begin to draw our chin to our chest. So we'll just let our head hang heavy here. And then gazing up towards the sky, let's just drop the head back for a moment. And then chin to your chest. So let your head relax down. Gaze right on up to the sky. And then let's go one more time, forward and back. Coming into a neutral neck, take your right ear to the right shoulder. We'll just find a little neck release here. Float yourself back and up to neutral, realign. Left ear to left shoulder. Back to center, realign. And we're going to go side to side 2 times on each side. Good. Let's bring ourselves back and up to neutral. Take a full breath here to lengthen. Gaze off your right shoulder. So we're just going to look off the right shoulder here. Float yourself back to center. Let's realign and lengthen and release to the other side. Back to center. Let's realign to lengthen. Gaze off the right shoulder. Back to neutral. Lengthen. Gaze off the left shoulder. Back to center. And we'll go one more time side to side. And then bringing yourself to neutral. Let's begin to circle the head and the neck. So maybe imagine that there was a clock in front of you. And the clock is lined with numbers. And then we're just running our nose through the number of the clock. So just trying to smooth out those 3 different movements that we just worked with through the neck. And circle in the other direction. We'll just reverse that movement. Great. We'll come into stillness here. Let's take our right hand down onto the yoga mat. Left hand will sweep up and over. Let's find a little side stretch. This looks like create a little lateral flexibility in your spine. And then taking the stretch to the other side. But to get there, we are going to sweep that left arm in front of us, kind of sweeps us over, ground into the hand, draw the right arm up and over, and try to roll your heart right on up to the sky. Let's try that again. So right hand's going to pull us through center. Left arm open, rolling that left shoulder back, right shoulder under. Try to broaden through the collarbones. Let's float ourselves back on through. Nice deep full breath in and out. And take a moment to go side to side so you can flow at your own pace here. And then let's release the stretch. Let's come on over into table. So as you come into table, you're just going to float on forward onto your hands and your knees. And if your knees are sensitive on the ground, feel free to grab a blanket to pad the knees a little bit here. So we are going to take our right knee into fire hydrant and begin to create some circles here. So maybe find large circles, maybe find smaller circles. We'll just try to get a nice little rotation here happening in the hips. And flow in the other direction. So we'll just reverse that movement. The right foot's going to kick to the right. So we're going to land in that gorilla kick. You can flex your foot, press through your heel in the back of the knee. Try to feel your leg active, engaged, and energized. Lowering your foot down, core engages. We are going to come on up. We'll work with a variation of gate pose Parigasana. For this one, hands can reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands into the heart space. Let's breathe in, reach up and stretch up. Exhale, release. 3 more times at your own pace. Good. Let's take our right hand down the right leg. Left hand reaches up and over. We'll return back to that lateral stretch for the spine. Try to really lengthen all the way from your left knee to your left fingertip. Come on through center. We're almost going to kind of windmill that left hand down and then working with a variation of side plank. So pausing here for a moment, try to feel your shoulders stack and open. So shoulders in line and then wrists in one line. Stay here, maybe lifting that leg on up if you would like. You could also take your hand to meet the foot if you'd like as well. You could try out a bind here. And then as you try that bind, we'll create a little sensation of kicking the foot into the hands. Breathe into your back bend for the 3 parts of your back. Take a nice deep full inhale and a nice deep full exhale. Releasing your foot down, core engages to come on up. Let's bring our hands at the top of our yoga mat. Sweep your right foot to the left, coming into a seat curve for the spine. Walk your hands off towards the left to give you a bit more stretch, and gaze off the left fingertips to give yourself a little bit more stretch here. Come on back through to tabletop. As you come into table, lower your stomach down. We're going to lift up through the heart. Let your tailbone lower. Let the crown of the head lower. And then flow through a cat and a dog stretch for a moment. And try to lengthen your spine as you inhale. Lengthen your spine as you exhale. As you inhale, try to relax your shoulders from your ears. So try to create a little bit of space here between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. And then on the exhale, really rounding through your back. So imagine creating space between the shoulder blades. Coming into a neutral spine, let's take that left knee into fire hydrant, and we'll find our circles and movement here. Feel grounded through both of your hands. So you may want to add a little bit more weight into your left hand. Sometimes it's really easy to get a little light in that left hand and you feel that it's kind of all the weight's moving into the right. So try to even off your hands here. Circle in the other direction. So just reverse that movement. The last second kick to the left. Let's land in that gorilla kick. Flex your foot. Press through the heel, the back of the knee. Lowering your foot down. Core engages. Let's come on up. Hands to the sky. Let's breathe in here. Down to the heart space. And then from here, let's begin to circle in the other direction. So we'll take our fingertips to the sky, and then the arms will sweep out and around. Great. Let's gently release that left hand. You can glide it down the leg. You can also take your hand to your hip too. So a couple options. We'll bring our right arm up and over. And breathe really deeply here. Almost imagine that you could create some space in between the ribs. Or engages. Let's float ourselves up. We'll bring our right hand down. Left hand to the sky. Stay here for a moment. Try to stack. Try to open up the hips and the shoulders. Maybe lift your foot up, maybe hand for the foot, find your bind if you would like. You can come into this really nice quad stretch. It also is great for stretching the front of your hip flexor, and your psoas. We'll just breathe into that great stretch for your body. Letting the foot release, we will come on up and then hands to the top of your yoga mat. Let's bring that left foot to the right, coming into a C curve for our spine. Walk your hands off to the right. Gaze off your right shoulder and then breathe into that side stretch. Good. Let's float ourselves back on through to table. And working with a dolphin stretch. So we'll work with a really nice strengthening stretch for our shoulders. So coming down onto our elbows, reach for opposite arms, hands come out in front, either fingers interlock, palms touch. Maybe press your hands down into the mat. Toes will curl under, and then let's take our hips right on up to the sky on this one. So for this one, try to have your legs as straight as possible. And if you would like more of a stretch, you can walk your toes in towards your face to deepen that one. We'll feel the backs of our legs lengthen, sitting bones to sky. Feel the spine lengthen. Try to relax the back of your head and neck. Feel that really strong connection of the forearms into the ground. So we want to lift from our shoulders, find a little length, and find a little bit of space here. Knees begin to lower. Toes will curl under. Let's take a moment to sit back onto our heels. This will bring us into a toe stand. Releasing the shoulders. Let's bring our shoulders up to the ears. We'll create a nice large circle. Relax your shoulders on exhale. Breathe in. Take the shoulders up, back, and down. And then one more time. Inhale and exhale. Let's come on forward. We'll land in table. Tap the tops of your feet out on the mat. Nice little release here. And then let's try out dolphin. We'll try plank this time. So it's the same setup. You'll come down onto your elbows. Reach for opposite arms. Hands come out in front. Walk your toes back. Have your toes curled under. And then land in that plank position. So on this one, knees can come down to the mat if you would like a little modification. Feel your tailbone tuck. Feel the navel move back and up to the spine a little bit. And then create this nice long line of energy from the heels to the crown of the head. Have a comfortable gaze between the space between the forearms. Lift from your shoulders, find length and find some space here. Knees will begin to lower. Let's try out our toe stand here. So we'll come back onto our heels. Toes are curled under. Also going to give you a nice quad stretch. Let's take our shoulders up, back, and down. We'll go 3 times total. Good. Let's float ourselves back on through into tabletop. As you come to table, let's tap the tops of our feet out on the mat. Give yourself a full breath here. As you exhale, come into a downward facing dog. In down dog, let's take it out a little bit. So it may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee, and then relax your head yes and no. So maybe the first down dog of the day, just noticing how your body is feeling, noticing how movement is feeling. Check in with your hamstrings, check in with the low back, check in with the back of the neck. As you come into stillness, let's come into plank. We'll try out high push-up pose. Knees can always lower if you wanted to do a little modified plank. And lowering down to the mat, so we'll take a reverse push-up down to the mat. Let your hands come right out in front of you for Sphinx. Elbows in line with your shoulders, maybe reach for opposite arms here, and then we're going to breathe into this nice low back opening. Staying here, maybe lifting up, hands press down, elbows lift up, elbows can wrap in towards one another a little bit. You can also straighten out the arms if you'd like, work with seal pose. Let's reach and stretch through the crown of the head. Bring yourself down to the mat. Let's take a full breath and we'll press back to down dog when you're ready. Come on forward into a fold, and then as you take a fold, take it out a little bit. Maybe bending one knee and the other knee. Relax your head yes, and relax your head no. As you find stillness here, let's walk our hands off to the right. Find a side stretch. Round evenly through both of your feet, inside and outside of each foot. Back on through the center, hands to the other side, reaching and stretching from your waist. Float yourself back to center, back through a fold. Take a half lift here. Try to lift through your spine and lengthen through your spine. Fold down to the mat. We're going to come on up for standing mountain. So hands will reach up towards the sky as you inhale. Take your hands at your heart space as you exhale. Let's bring our hands on up towards the sky. Right hand will reach for your left wrist, and then cross your legs. Take your left foot to the right. Take a full breath here to lengthen. Release your hands to the right when you're ready. And let's create a little sensation that that right hand could pull your left hand to the right side of the room. Bring yourself back to center. Let's keep the legs just how they are. We'll change up the grip in the hands. Release off towards the left. Let's try to roll that left shoulder under, right shoulder is rolling open a little bit. Back on through the center. Let's release the hands and we'll do a little reset on our feet. take your hands up towards the sky. Let's bring that left hand for the right wrist. And then right foot to the left. Full breath here to lengthen and release to the left when you're ready. Try to ground evenly through both of your feet, inside and outside of each foot. Come back to center. Let's realign here. Change up the grip in the hands. We'll release to the other side. And float yourself back to center. We can do a reset on our hands and our feet. And then reach for your hands behind your body. So fingers will interlock. We'll take our palms together. Maybe imagine squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades. Take a full breath here to lengthen. Fold yourself down as you exhale. Your arms can run along your back, and you can also release your arms away from the back body as well. Let's take our hands onto our low back. Hands relaxed down to the mat. Let's bring ourselves to that half lift. So really try to lengthen your spine. Reach from your low back. Float yourself down to the mat. We'll come back through to stand. Full breath in. It's like a reverse swan dive. And then hands to the heart space as you exhale. Right foot comes up for tree pose, a Vrikshasana. So for tree, you can have your toes on the ground, little kickstand support, or maybe bring your foot anywhere on the leg that feels comfortable. Hands can reach to the sky if you would like a little more stretch, a little shoulder stretch here. And if this balance isn't feeling super stable today, you could step off your yoga mat. Sometimes the mats are a little squishy and it doesn't always help with our balance. You can also kind of bring the hand onto a wall or a chair if you have something close by. Let's bring ourselves into standing splits from here. So for standing splits, we're going to take ourselves from tree, and then that right leg will reach right on up to the sky. Gaze to the wall behind you. Maybe take your gaze to the ceiling up behind your body. A lot of times as we relax the gaze like that, it can just help us move a little deeper into that leg stretch and into the hip stretch. As you exhale, let's bring our knee into our nose. We're going to do a round and a crunch. Take your leg up to the sky. And then as you exhale, let's do a round and a crunch. Load it up. Let's go 3 more times here with the breath. Back on through the standing splits. Let's land in a runner's lunge and begin to bend and straighten your front leg. So as you're flowing here with the breath, if the stretch feels challenging, if you have your yoga blocks, you could bring your hands on the blocks for support. And you can also take your right knee down onto the mat, and that would just make it a little easier too. If the ground feels really far away, that's one way to make it a little easier. Straighten your left leg. Let's fold ourselves over. Left knee will bend. Let's take our left hand to the sky. Come into a runner's twist. And then gently lowering your hand down. We will find warrior 1 from here. So for warrior 1, right heel will ground down to the mat. You'll have your right foot at a 45-degree angle. Hands reach and stretch to the sky as you inhale. Have a deep bend in your left knee. Feel your hips and your shoulders squaring forward. Let's bring our arms behind our body. Fingers will interlock. Take your palms to touch. We'll take a full breath to lengthen. Fold yourself down as you exhale. Devotional warrior 1 pose. Maybe relax your gaze. Sometimes when we look at the wall behind us, to just move us a bit deeper into the stretch. Core engages. Let's float ourselves up, rising into warrior 1. Let's bring those hands down. Find your way to a runner's lunge. Come on forward into a fold. Right foot meets your left foot. Bring yourself to that half lift. Fold yourself down to the mat. Come on up. We'll rise for that mountain pose, Tadasana. Hands at your heart as you exhale. Left foot rises when you're ready. Let's try tree on the other side. Hands to the sky as you breathe in. So finding that spot to focus on, that one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. From our tree pose, let's come down to our standing splits. We'll send that left leg right on up to the sky. So we have so many muscles that hold the head up. Try to relax them here. Just let your head hang heavy. Gaze to the wall behind you. Exhale, knee into your nose. Let's do a round. We'll float ourselves into that crunch. Send your leg up and then float it back. Exhale, round, knee into nose. Send it up and send it back. Let's go 3 more times here. Back into standing splits. Float yourselves into runner's lunge. Begin to bend and straighten your front legs. So the most important alignment cue on this pose is to make sure that your knee is in line with your ankle. So we just don't want that knee to be floating too far forward here. If that knee is moving too far forward, just bring a bit more distance between your front foot and your back foot. Maybe you don't bend as deep into that right knee. Right leg straightens on exhale, fold yourself over. Right knee bends. Right hand to the sky. Let's bring ourselves into that runner's twist. As you take runner's twist, let's feel the shoulders stack and open here. Shoulders in line and then wrists in one line. Warrior one. So you may want to have your left foot off to the left a little bit. Have your whole back foot grounded down and also have your foot at a 45-degree angle. Feel your tailbone tuck. Feel your navel move back and up to the spine a little bit. Try to create that nice long line of energy that flows through your spine. Hands behind your body. Fingers interlock, palms touch. Take a full breath to lengthen. Hold yourself down as you exhale. Let's bring ourselves back on through. We'll rise up, reset to warrior one pose. Hands are gonna float down to the mat. Let's come into that runner's lunge. Make your way into plank. Knees up or down, reverse push-up. We'll take an up dog here. We'll lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then press back to down dog when you're ready. Coming into a side plank pose. So for side plank, let's float ourselves into plank. Right hand to the sky. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. If you'd like to make this one easier, you can bring your bottom leg down for a little left. Whether your knee is up or down, you can also take your top leg to the sky as well. So you could kind of lift that leg up if you would like. Let's float ourselves back into plank. As you exhale, we'll come into a downward facing dog. Take your right leg right on up to the sky when you're ready. Float that right leg up. 3-limbed dog. Right foot floats forward. Come up for a crescent warrior. So crescent is a little different from the warrior one that we just did. So we're going to have our back heel lifted up and then press really firmly through our heel. And then also press firmly through the back of the knee. Coming into a flying crescent. So for this one, keep your back foot on the mat. So your toes are going to be on the ground, but your heel's lifted. And then you shift your torso forward for a 45-degree angle. We're going to spring off the back foot for warrior 3 pose. Maybe imagine if you could see yourself from the side. Try in time to create a capital T shape with your body. Open into warrior 2 from here. So for warrior 2, you'll just line up your front heel with your back arch. Have a deep bend in your front knee, shoulders over hips, and then hands reach forward and back. Reverse warrior 2. Take your front hand up and back. Back hand can glide down your back leg. Maybe wrap your arm around your low back, reach for the other hip crease. Take a half bind if you'd like. For engages, let's bring ourselves back onto a warrior two and then down to a lateral angle. Maybe hand lowers all the way to the mat for extended lateral angle if you'd like to go there. For engages, let's come up for warrior two, take it back to reverse. Do a little windmill through into lateral angle. For engages, rise up. And then we're just gonna create this nice little flowing movement of forward and back. This movement is going to be great for the shoulders. So this really nice shoulder opener. And we also get this great opener for the hips as well. Nice leg stretch. So strengthening as well. Good. Let's take ourselves back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg and take your front hand up and back. Bring yourself to a reverse triangle stretch. So let's try to reach and stretch from that right waist. Lengthen the whole side body, arm and fingertips. Come on through to warrior two. Windmill your hands down. Let's bring ourselves to a runner's lunge. Step on back into plank. High push-up pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Let's take that up dog here. Try to relax your shoulders away from your ears. We'll press ourselves back to down dog when you're ready. Loaded forward into plank. Left hand to the sky this time for side plank. So again, you can definitely modify. Lower the bottom leg to make it easier. Top leg lift for more challenge. Maybe stack the insides of the feet. And if your wrists are sensitive, you can always come down to the forearm and do a dolphin variation. Let's take a breath here. We'll reset back into plank. Press back to down dog when you're ready. Bring your left leg to the sky. Find a three-limbed dog here. Bring yourself through and we'll rise up for that crescent warrior. So in crescent, imagine that you can create this line from your right heel to your right hip. So we just want to feel this long line. Our heel presses straight back. Sometimes that heel will shift into the center of the mat a little bit. For engages, come on forward. Try your flying crescent warrior. So just bring ourselves forward a little bit, find that 45-degree angle. Warrior three, spring forward. Maybe imagine that you could balance the block on your low back. So feel really aligned here in the low back and hips. Come on through. We'll try out warrior two from here. Ground really firmly in your feet. Almost imagine that you could pull your feet in towards one another. Reverse. Float it up. Float it back. 4 engages. Let's come on through. Lateral angle. Rise up. And release. Let's bring ourselves back on through. We're going to reset to warrior two. Straighten your front leg, front hand up and back, reverse triangle. Come on through for warrior two. Windmill the hands down. Bring yourself to runner's lunge. Float yourself into plank. Lower down, chaturanga. We'll take our up dog here. Let's try to relax our shoulders away from the ears. And then pressing back to down dog when you're ready. Knees are beginning to lower. Let's find our way into table. Sweep your feet to the right or to the left. We'll come into a seated pose. As we come into seated, we'll try out a leg and a hip stretch. So for this one, we'll start with our right leg, bringing that leg up and over, creating a figure 4 stretch here. You're going to flex your right foot, encourage this right knee down. So this will be step 1. You can hang out here. You can walk and fold forward if you'd like. For more of a stretch, left knee will bend, and then you'll draw yourself into the foot a little bit, and that's going to give you more stretch. And if you still like a little bit more stretch, you can try the third option. You'll just lower down that left leg. Try to stack your heels in line with your knees. Flex both of your feet. And then just gently feel these knees lowering down. And you can sit with your spine straight. Option to do a little fold forward if you'd like. And whichever variation you're working with, let's just take a minute here to close the eyes. Try to feel your breath flowing in and flowing out through your nose. Lengthening as you breathe in, lengthening as you breathe out. Trying to relax your body as best as you can in the stretch. So we'll try to relax our eyebrows, relax the jaw. Try to let go of tension through the back of the head and neck. Relax through the shoulders, arms, and hands. Relax the upper, mid, and low back. And then relax through the legs and relax through the feet. Let's take the legs out in front. Feet can be nice and wide, and we'll just do a little windshield wipe of the knees to the left and the right. Legs will extend out in front. Left leg comes up and over, figure 4. Staying here, so you can hang out here, maybe do your fold forward. Right leg bends, scoot yourself in a bit. And that third option is called a double pigeon pose. And the other 2 options, those are called seated pigeon. Let yourself come forward if that feels okay. Let your eyes close. And try to clear your mind of thoughts. We always have thoughts moving through the mind, maybe thoughts for the past, thoughts for the future. Try to release your thoughts. Bring your awareness to your breath. Bring your awareness to your present moment. And then remembering the present moment, the only moment where life truly exists. Letting your core engage as you float up. Feet wide to the edges of your yoga mat. Drop your knees to the left. Drop your knees to the right. And when you're ready, let's bring ourselves down onto our back. Reach for your feet. Take a happy baby stretch. Flex your feet. Reach through your heels. Maybe a little rock to the right and to the left. Almost imagine that you could stomp your foot on the ceiling. So we'll try to get our foot flat if that's possible. Bringing yourself to stillness here, let's try a bridge pose. So for bridge, your feet will be in line with your hips. Your knees are bent. Ground firmly into your feet. Engage your core, so feel your tailbone touch. And then lift your low back and your mid back from the mat. For more of a stretch, hands can come together under your body. Fingers interlock, palms touch. Maybe imagine squeezing a pencil between the shoulder blades. Breathe in and breathe out here. Imagine that you could squeeze a beach ball between the knees. Really activate your legs, activate through your feet, press through the insides of your feet and outsides of your feet. Maybe feel your toes lifted to get even more grounding in your feet. To let go of this one, you can release your hands, tuck your tailbone so you can lower and articulate down through the spine. So just try to feel each vertebrae lowering. Also feel the space between the vertebrae lowering. Soles of the feet will touch. Knees come away from one another and coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. This one is our bound angle stretch. Arms along your body, palms can face up. You can also take the hands on the body. Sometimes that helps us connect a little bit more to ourselves in the moment. And then just gently feel yourself breathing in and out. Feel your eyebrows and jaw relax with each exhale. And then gently releasing. You can take the knees together, and then let's bring our knees into the chest here. So you can just kind of hug them in, gently rock to the right and to the left. And then find your way into circles here. Maybe find large circles, maybe find smaller circles. Flow in the other direction. And then letting this go. Let's come into Savasana. So we'll take a little time to relax here. So for Savasana, traditional Savasana, legs are relaxed, arms are relaxed. But if your back is tender at all, if muscles are tight through the workday, you may want to plant your feet, have your knees bend. You could bring your feet wide and then gently draw your knees in together. That will just help to relax your back muscles a little bit more. And then just letting your eyes close here. They say that this pose is the most important yoga pose of the whole entire yoga practice. It gives us an opportunity to integrate the benefits into our mind and into our body. Give yourself a moment here to wiggle your fingers and toes, maybe deepen your breath. And gently draw awareness back into your body, back into the moment. Make your way onto your side. We'll find our way into a fetal position. Maybe create a pillow with your lower arm. Gently support your head and feel your body taking the shape of the posture. Coming into seated when you're ready. So as you press up to seated, if you would like, hands can move into the heart space in prayer, in Anjali Mudra, and maybe closing the eyes. Thanking yourself for practicing yoga today, for doing something so good for your mind, body, and spirit. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope everyone's feeling a little bit better. Have a great day today, and I look forward to seeing you next class. Take care.
Hey, thanks, Melissa.